Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Paula, and as you can see, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I love to do mixed media, and I've been doing journaling or junk journaling for some time now, and I just missed it today. And so I have a new book, and I wanted to start it out, you know, with maybe winter. I know we're in the fall, but I'm ready to do some winter. So I have done this particular canvas before. This is a mixed media book by Delusions. No, I'm sorry. Who is it by? Strathmore. Mixed media. Okay, I'm sorry. I lied and didn't know it. But anyway, you can do anything, you know, mixed media type in here. You could probably even watercolor in it if you wanted to. Okay, so I did what I'm going to do in this book in a class when I first started learning mixed media. And I've been wanting to put it in my book so that I can see it every once in a while, because it kind of gets stored away and it doesn't happen. So we're gonna have to work fast. I'm not gonna edit this, so it may have to be a part 1 and part 2. I don't know how fast it will go. I'm gonna work real hard to make it go well fast. Okay, I'm gonna show you. You've probably seen this on Pinterest. I don't know who originally did it, but it's simple, and or at least I feel like it is. You need like 3 different blues acrylic paint. You need white. You need an old dictionary page. You need a circle that's, you're going to tape, you're going to put some tape on, and you're going to look at your journal and decide where you want to tape it down onto your page, because we want to paint over it. So we're not going to do anything except paint first. And then we're going to cut out 3 circles. These were hand cut. I cut them by hand, and yeah, and then we're going to need a little bit of orange and whatever scarf color you want, and some glitter, kind of a clear or white glitter, and Tim Holtz stamps. And then if you want to add these little icicles or little snowflakes, you can. And I am going to be using the Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, the big brush, in the blue, sky blue, and this is gray, cold gray 3. And I've got the black out just in case. And then I'm going to use my gel pen, my Uniball white gel pen. This one doesn't look like it has much in it, but, and then this black pen, I don't know, it's Ranger, it's from Ranger. I don't know what the name of it is. But anyway, I'm sure some of you know by seeing that. And I've just got Liquitex matte gel that I'm going to use after we do the painting portion. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside, and we need to get with it, because I'm just using, for the dark blue, I don't even know if this is the right blue. It looked close enough, and I thought, well, let's just use it. Yeah, I think it's close enough. And I'm working in a very small space today, because I'm working on 2 journals right now, and I have like everything all over the place. But I did move my journal stuff, because yes, I would be that person that would, you know, spill it everywhere. Okay, so I hope you don't mind that I'm doing this rather than my normal journaling embellishments and books and so forth. But do you ever just have a day when you're just, I don't know how good this brush is either, so we're fixing to find out. So you want to start with the darker at the top. And you just want to do brush strokes. Let me make sure you can see. And I did wet my brush. And I will wet it every now and then because I want it to move pretty good for me. And yeah, so we'll do the blue first. Get around your little moon here. This is probably a different blue than what I have on my canvas. I have tons of acrylic paints because I used to tool paint many moons ago. And so I'm sure I should have put something under my page. I just realized it. Whenever you're using a mixed media book, if you don't want to get your pages dirty like other pages that are behind it, or maybe you've already done some kind of page like in it. Let me see. I'm looking to see if I have anything that I can stick under here. Yes, I'm going to tear this off real quick. Sorry, guys. I just don't want to, I want to start this book and I don't want to have to, I don't want to get my next pages. See, I already got a little bit of blue on there. So you can kind of move this piece of paper around. And, yeah. And then I'm going to, when I get to a certain point, I'm going to start blending another color in. Now, I didn't do a real good job. I can tell I didn't do a real good job with putting my circle mask down, because I can see that there's a little bit of paint under there, but we'll wing it. We'll see what happens. Now, as soon as I get this one line down, I'm going to transfer over to, kind of a blue-green, I guess, if you want to call it that. And then we'll just, and I'm not going to take it out of the container. Now watch me not be able to open it. And my husband's not here. There we go. I knew I'd used it before. This is by Dilutions, and it's an acrylic paint. It's just more thinned down acrylic paint than the ones that everybody's accustomed to, you know. Oh, crud. I just tossed water right across the table. I'm glad it didn't go on my canvas. I'm telling you guys, I can be a disaster. I feel like anytime I ever do any kind of art project, I can count on something going wrong. Are you guys that way? I feel like I am. Okay, so I'm going to just, I don't even know if this is right color. Oh yeah, see, we're going to blend it into the other one. And this is not the exact colors that I used before. But you know what? I'm not picky about that. I don't care. I just want to get it blended up into this as much as I can. And this dark blue blended down into it. Get some of this covered real quick. I have some other projects that I've been wanting to do, that if you guys enjoy doing something different every now and then, let me know in the comments below, and we'll address that. But you know, I'm not an expert. I'm not you know, I just like to do it. Okay, so now we need to, we're far enough down that we need to, I want to mix a little bit more of this blue. I'm just going to kind of bring it down in here, because this is supposed to be a wintry sky. You know, I don't know if it's what you would call an official wintry sky, but it's good enough for me. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit more of this blue, which really is more of a royal than it is a blue that you would put in the sky. And I might go over it a little bit with some white. Oh, I just got a lot on there. Just because it might lighten it down a little bit. I'm going to wash my brush. And see, that went pretty fast. But I am going to put a little bit more of this blue-green. I'm going to kind of mix it down in here. Let me know in the comments below if you do mixed media. You know, there's a lot of ways to do mixed media, even in your junk journaling. And, you know, I've done it a couple times, which I really want to come up with more ways to do it because I just love it. Now, what I'm about to do, I have no idea how it will affect this, but I want to try putting a little bit of white on here just to see, only because I want to kind of calm the blue down a little bit, because you know it is a different blue than what we're using. I'll show you, but not much different. I think this one has more of an ice blue in it. I'm going to wet my brush, okay, and then I'm just going to pick up some of the white. I'm going to try not to pick up too much, because you never know. I'm going to start down here and just see what happens. Yeah, see, it's going to cool it down a little bit. Now, is it going to be perfect? No. But it will give it kind of that snowy, swishy kind of look, you know, that I'm in my head I'm trying to get. You got to make sure that your brush is wet though, because if you don't, you'll get a dry brush will make it more solid. If you have water on your brush, it's much better. Okay. I like that better. I don't know about you guys, but it kind of calmed it down a little bit. But I need to get a little bit right over here on the other side of the moon. I don't want it to be super white there. So I'm going to add just some water to calm that part down. Yes, that's much better. What do you think? I think it is. Okay, now I like the way it has started blending. Now I'm going to wash my brush, and I'm trying to decide if I want to splatter now. I think I do. I'm going to splatter and that way everything can dry while we move on to the next step. Now I know that I've showed you guys how to splatter before. I just put my white paint lid on like, you know, like I don't need it. I'm going to pull this up because I want to toss that in the trash. And I'm going to see if I can calm this down a little bit right here. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. The thing is it's going to have a blue haze about it anyway. And boy, it really went in right there, didn't it? I might have to come up with another way to do that. You know, I could just add white paper over it. And there's nothing wrong with that because it is mixed media. And we're going to be adding some dictionary paper on here. I'm going to just see if I can pick it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to oversaturate it, so we'll worry about that later. Okay, we're going to splatter. So we're not going to use this same wide brush that we just used. We're going to use a, let me get it here. I moved all my brushes over where I have to stretch. Not that I don't need to stretch, it's just, okay. Now, I'm going to use clean water to do this because I don't want it to go everywhere. I don't want it to change colors. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now I'm going to add water to it. A lot of water. So actually, I'm going to bring this water jug right here. I'm mixing, all I'm doing that you can't see, it's right beside my book, is I'm adding a lot of water. And really, I could add a whole lot more to my palette. I'm adding water to the white acrylic paint that we're going to splatter. Now, if you don't get a lot of water in there, you're going to have more solid than you are splatters. So I'm just going to see if that's enough. It still looks like it needs more water. Okay, I'm just going to make that be okay for now. And I'm going to lay my brush over here out of the way. It's a process. I mean, everything has its own little job. And I'm just going to take my brush handle here, and I'm going to dip this smaller brush into the, I wet it really good before I did this, and then I'm going to just dip it into the paint. Now I'm standing up so that my splatters don't, now I'm going to tell you right now, these splatters will go everywhere. And when I get done, whoa, just like that, but our snowman's going to be there, so it's okay. It's getting on my tripod. It's getting on my old painting, but that's okay. It's a blizzard. All right, so we've got that done. I'm going to wipe off my tripod. My husband may come in here and go, "What'd you do to your tripod?" Me, on the other hand, I'm just like, whatever. When you do arts and crafts, you have to expect stuff to go everywhere. I know that you guys agree with that statement, I'm sure. I'm moving some of this stuff out of our way so we'll have more room. And we're done with this paint, so I'm going to move it over to the side. And I'm just going to kind of move that out. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to just kind of see if I can get some of these big puddles out of my way, mostly because I want to move on. So we're going to do our snowman out of dictionary paper. I've already cut everything out, and I'm going to tell you, you can do this freehand. If you don't want to do it freehand, I did punch this circle out because I wanted it more on the perfect side. But I just cut these out. You just want 3 different sizes. Let me see if I could tell you what size they are. See if that kind of gives you an idea. Really, it's based off what size your book is. Okay, so this is going to be a 2.5-inch circle. The large one is. The medium snow ball is going to be, well, it says 2.5 inches too. That can't be right. Let me measure the big one again. The big one, maybe that one's 2. I know there's a big difference. This is 2 1/4. This is 2 3/4. And the small one is 1 3/4 inches. So that could, that will help a little bit. Okay, so we're not going to worry about painting the snowman yet. That will come later. Let me get these brushes out of my way so I can, I'm just going to put them right there in my water, but they're in my way. I want to use my gel medium by Liquitex. It says matte medium, actually. I don't like to use it any, darker, not darker, but shinier. Okay, So I think we should hit this with a heat gun real quick so everything doesn't smear. I'm not liking the way these dots right here are there. So I'm going to lay my snowman here and see about, I think it's going to cover. Yeah, we don't have to waste our time worrying about it. So I say to you, be sure you dry this first layer before you do your next step. You want to do all your acrylics. And you can already kind of see on the moon how it kind of has that night moon, even though it's got a couple big blue blobs in it. I don't think that would be much different than what we have out in our sky or out on our moon. Okay, now I'm going to get my, I tore the dictionary paper. I just tore, you know, 3 different things, and I'm going to put this one on first. I don't know if there's any potty mouth words in this or not. I can't possibly go through and read the dictionary, but it doesn't bother me. I wouldn't even notice it, but just in case you know, if that bothers you, make sure. We're just going to layer them over each other like hills. So you just tear it however you want. And if you decide you want to do this, you can go back and watch the video, and that will help. All right, so if I can get this gel medium as hard as a rock, let me open my new one. Isn't that how it is? I'm just glad I had a new one so that it can. Of course, I haven't, like I said, I haven't got to do my mixed media in a while, and I love it. And I hope you guys don't mind me doing this today. So I'm just going to put the gel medium here, which is basically like a glue. And I'm going to move my paper over under here so it can kind of catch, so the pages don't glue together. Now, right now, I'm doing all the white part because I don't want to get into the blue until I have to. Because, see, it's not completely dry, but we're going to cover this part up. So, let's see. Want to do my heaviest amount underneath. Oh, crud. How'd that paint get on there? It's going to be covered up, so I don't have to worry about it. You know, I freak out before I even need to know. So I just made this one piece and had it, I haven't done under this top part because I didn't know how far up to go, you know. So I'm just going to do it a little bit at a time, and then once we do that, we'll go over the top, and that will seal it down pretty good. And before it's over with, you will have gone over it several times. I'm trying to work really fast, guys, so that you don't get bored. I know a lot of people will edit stuff like this out, but I'm a newbie. And I'm lucky to get my videos up correctly. It's, YouTube doesn't make it super easy to figure everything out. Okay, so, can you see that? Okay, good. I can't push my book up any further. It's as far up as it will go. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over this. But I mean, now as it gets wet, when I say quickly, you don't want to be too quick because you could tear it. It's kind of like when you decoupage. So you don't want it to get saturated and then tear on you. But you do want it to adhere down so it doesn't come apart. Okay, now I'm working too to keep the blue out of my text. It doesn't matter if you go different directions on here or not. Okay, Next, we're going to put the second heel on, and that's going to go like that. You don't want your edges to, when I say edges, I mean like the edges of your newspaper. You want them all, when you tear them, you probably will need a larger dictionary page, because I did. My book's pretty big. It just depends on the size of your book. You see how far up we need to go? Right in there. Ever since I did this on canvas, I have wanted to do it in my book. I don't know why, but my book is something that I will thumb through every once in a while. Most of my mixed media experiences have been through classes and so forth, but I have done it on my own too. It's just I do it in classes because, you know, it's fun. You know, doing a class is always more fun than doing it at home by yourself. Although I've kind of come to the conclusion that I do work well when I have quiet, which I don't really have anymore with Sadie. Oh my gosh, guys. She is seriously a toddler. Okay, now you will get wrinkles just like you do when you decoupage. Don't worry about it. That just gives it texture. You know, it's just an art journal. It's just something to give you a little bit of freedom. Okay, so this is our last heel. I did 3 heels. I figured 3 would be enough to make it look slopey. And I'm just going to attach it over here. The reason that I didn't cut the others off is I didn't want there to be lumps underneath. Plus, this kept me straight. It didn't take very long to do this, obviously. At first, I tried tearing it. It didn't have the same look. Now, right now, this looks like a big blob, because it does to me too. But we will go through with our big brushes, and what are those called again? Pit brushes. We'll go through with those and shade and all that once it's dry. Okay? All right. So, now, I got to think for a second. We've got to do something here. We may have to paint that white. Let's see what happens if we do. We'll find out real fast here. I'm going to put the lid on this, if I can find it. Of course I put it on my tripod stand. The one place you would never look. Okay, we'll go back to that. While this is drying, I'm going to paint around the moon. And I am going to get a different brush, so excuse me for a second. I don't have any. Oh, there's one. I was like, I don't have any more big ones. I'm going to turn this to the side. I'm going to make sure I haven't lost. Okay, I've lost. Nope, there it is. Lost one of my snowman circles. That's what I thought. I'm going to turn this so you guys can see a little better. I'm trying to, I've got my my matte medium brush in the water so that it doesn't get hard on me, but you're really not supposed to leave your brushes in water, but what can I say? Oh well. Okay, so the chances are this will not cover, so don't worry about it if it doesn't. I mean, we're gonna put some blue in there, and don't put like 5 or 6 coats trying to cover it, because every coat will make it look worse. Trust me, by experience, I've done that. When I tool painted, I can remember thinking, okay, I can cover that up. The more you put on, and the worse it looks. I mean, 2 or 3 coats at the most. And see, like I just made a really ugly shape right there. But that's okay, because we can bring the one on the canvas that I worked on. She didn't even let us put a circle on there. She just had us cut a circle out. So it wasn't perfect to start with. So I'm just going to bring this out a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it because it's supposed to be fun, not stressful. Okay, now I'll turn this back around so I can kind of see what shape of a moon. I kind of like the wonkiness of the shape, and see that you can see that blue. But now if you try, see like what I'm doing right now, I'm coming in with a little bit heavier, I almost said dose, like medicine, a heavier amount, but we can call it a dose of paint. I just had to give Sadie some Benadryl because she's getting her shots right now. My husband was sweet enough to take her for me, so I could get my video done. See, I'm still trying. The perfectionist in me is still trying to shape this better. But I think it looks better. But you can see the darkness over here. I'm just going to put a little heavy amount of paint over the dark spot and try not to lift. When you put a second coat or third coat on, you really need to wait until the layer underneath is dry, because it'll just lift the first coat off. And it's like you're just beating your head up against the wall. Okay, so I'm going to take the heat gun to it. Okay, wash my brush, get the heat gun going. Excuse me, guys. After we dry this, I'm going to put a second coat on it, and then we'll go back and we'll add some blue over it. And actually, I probably will add some white to the blue on the second coat and make it the dark blue and make it a lighter color than we had to start with. So while we're sitting here, I'm going to mix this and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, as it said. So I'm just going to take my white paint that we used to splatter and add just a little bit of blue to it, just to do the moon once we get it dry. You don't need a lot of blue, because, I mean, it just takes a little bit when you're mixing it to the white. Trust me. You don't want to plop that down on your page and, you know, this dictionary paper will take a little bit. You don't have to have this completely dry, but dry enough that it's just if it's sticky, that's not super good. It's got paint on me. Let's see. Find my other brush. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, guys. Mostly get the moon done. I'm adding white to the blue. I'm going to let this be good enough, guys, because we can't spend our whole time together blow drying. Okay, so I'm going to kind of wash the blue off so I can go back into my white and get a little bit more white. Actually, quite a bit more white. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see. I'm putting it in here. and stirring it around just like you would mix anything. And it's not going to take a whole lot because that doesn't look like very much, just because it's not. Now, hopefully this is light enough. We're fixing to find out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of swirl it around and change it from white to blue. But I wanted the white tones in there too. Have you ever been out in the snow and seen the moon? It's not really white. It's not really, I mean, not white. It's not really yellow. I mean, depending on the weather, you know, it makes a difference. When in the snow, it almost looks blue. So I'm going to turn this around again so I can get to it. Can you see? Yes. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my brush. I just feel like whenever you add water, it keeps your brush from being too thick. Now, I'm trying to get around. If you notice, by doing what we've done, you can't see the big paint that was under the stencil, which makes me happy. I kind of figured it wasn't going to be a big problem. Now, when this dries just a tiny bit, I'll come back in with just almost like a dry brush, and I'm not worried about these white edges. I don't want to get too close because I don't want to have to redo everything and make a bigger circle. It's already big enough. There. Plus, we're going to be doing our shading and so forth. I kind of don't want all the little swirls in there either. Okay. I didn't plan this out real well, but because I figured, you know, it will just, I've done it before. It's been many years ago, and I've wanted to do it again ever since. Okay, now I'm going to get my other brush. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. Okay, and I'm going to just barely get this darker blue on the ends of my brush. And I want it to be, it's not going to be dry brush because this brush is not dry. Let me see if I have one. I have like a stipple brush. Wonder if that would, I'll get one of these other dry brushes. I found one. I found one. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on it, and then I'm going to I'm just putting a little bit on the tip, and then I'm going to kind of wipe most of it off. See how I'm doing that? So when I go into this wet light blue, which I need to turn it back around so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm sorry guys, my alarm went off and it just stopped my video. It may go off again just because I didn't know how to go in and stop it. Okay, so we've got a dry brush, and so we just want to do some swirls, kind of like you would do, and you don't want to work it in there. You want to just do it in one area and then stop. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you will end up with it not looking like you want. Now, I don't remember if this is how I did it whoops. I don't remember if it's how I did it the first time or not. But it looks, to me, it looks good. And that's all that matters. Okay, now, I'm not going to muddy it up by doing anything else. We've got to let it dry, because otherwise, you know, it it'd be a mess to deal with. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to flip my paper towel over and be prepared for that alarm to go off again. I'm sorry, you guys, about that. I'm going to dry just a little bit. You know what? I'm wondering... No, we'll do that last. I was going to say, go ahead and drop some glitter in there, but we'll do it last. We'll put one coat of matte gel on it and just sprinkle glitter. But you want to do very fine glitter. This is still a little sticky, but it's not awful. Sorry guys, if I were editing, I could edit this part out. That's going to be our next step, is to learn how to edit. All right. Let's see now. Now the next thing we want to do is our snowman. So we're going to use the matte gel medium, and it's going to look like our little snowman is blending in with the ground, but he's not. He will have, you know, different shadows and so forth. Let me get the right brush here. It's hard to tell which one was the one I used on gel medium because they look identical. Okay, so I'm looking here to see about how far down I want to put my snowman. I'm going to bring him down like he's setting on this right here, because I don't want him, you know, because he's like up on a hill, the moon looks like it's right on top of him, but it's really not. Like I really know how to explain that. But yeah, and I'm trying to keep the text all one direction so it's not chaotic looking. Listen, I got this dictionary at a vintage store some time ago, and I had never opened it. And oh my goodness, of course it's not a problem now. It just reeked of cigarette smoke. Now, I'm not against someone that smokes, but I don't know if the yellow was because of the age as much as because of the smell of the cigarettes. Okay, now you just kind of look at it and you stack it like you would stack anything, any snowman if you were outside in the yard doing it. And if he's wompy, that's all right. He still will be fine. Now you're going to get air pockets. I don't know, mixed media. If you're a perfectionist, you would probably have a hard time with mixed media. Okay, I'm going to wet my brush a little bit because I feel like it's getting thick. Doesn't take it long. And we're going to go ahead and add our little carrot nose also. Whoops. Okay. Anything we need to glue down, we're going to glue down. Now, I know he's hard to see right now, but he's adorable. Okay, so I did a little carrot nose, and we're going to put that on while we're here. I just took a piece of orange cardstock and probably didn't cut it the right, where's my scissors? Probably didn't cut it exactly like I wanted, but honestly, it's supposed to look like it's setting up on his face. Let me show you. See? So it doesn't go under the little head. It just kind of sets at the very top, just barely. And you want it to be, you want to make sure it's straight, because it would look weird if his carrot nose was leaning off to the side. I think I need some more. Yeah, I do. I need some more gel medium underneath. I didn't get quite enough on there. Let's see if I can get it back on there straight now. It's not easy when you're right-handed and you're using your left hand. Yeah, you don't want a gap or anything like that between his nose and the... Okay. Let me make sure there's not a gap. It's good enough. Okay, so the very next thing is we could do his collar, but I think instead we're going to do the icicles. Now, mind you, I'm going to turn the book so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better maybe. I don't want to be working in one spot and then, so I'm sure it's going to take us 2 videos to finish this, because we're just now getting things glued down. And you want to cut your dictionary paper in long icicle-like manner. Now, again, you want it flat on the top so you can lay it across the edge. You can overlap these, but I wouldn't concern myself with doing that. I mean, they're probably going to, you just want them to be different lengths. Like this one's too long, so I'm going to take it and snip off the end just a little, because it was, when my moon became bigger, my icicle became longer. No perfect going on here. And you don't want it to be crooked. Yeah, see, it's still a little bit long. Let me trim it again. Not by a whole lot, but it's hard for me to work on this sideways now that I'm doing it, because I can't tell if I'm getting stuff straight. Let me kind of... Boy, that almost... Sorry about that. I hope it didn't mess my whole video up, because I think I hit record on the second part. If I didn't, guys, you haven't missed anything. All we've added is the icicles, and now we're adding the scarf. I think, if I can figure out how to get it up here, or how I cut it to start with. I kind of gave it like a loop, so it would... And honestly, if you, the less you can use super heavy paper as far as the scarf and the carrot nose. I used cardstock, but I think that my experience is that when you use gel medium, it adheres better whenever it's... Yeah, I just am slightly short on my little scarf. Oh, I think I was supposed to put this one on first. Hello. Good luck with this, Paula. We're just going to set it on there. I wanted it to be... no, I don't like that. Let me get a little knife, if we're not too late already. I don't want to tear it, but I want to be able to slide that under there. Good. It's not completely dry. There we go. I literally just laid my brush on the table. Crazy. When my husband edits this video for me, he's going to go, "What on earth did you do?" I'm going to go, "I forgot to turn my alarm off." Listen, I've had to redo videos because of it, but this isn't something you want to redo right away. So I hope you guys understand. I know most of you will. Okay, now I'm going to just smooth out the rest of this, and we're going to let this dry really good, and in part 2 we will finish it up, because that gel medium is just getting thick. The more I put on, the thicker it gets, so I'm just kind of laying water on there to kind of smooth it out, because I don't like it to have that super thick look. Okay. Okay, now that's all of our, that's all the gel medium we need to use right now. And I'm going to show you how this looks so far. Now we've got all of our base pieces on. We will trim anything that's hanging over once it dries. And the next thing we're going to do is, let me see, I don't know how much time we have behind us because my video has stopped twice. Before the next time we get together, I'm going to take my Tim Holtz letters, and I cut 3 boxes out of white cardstock, and it's basically going to say, "Let it snow." And so the smaller one will be "Let it snow," and then if you have any left over, just cut it off. I just cut them a little big. So just "Let it snow" in all capitals and with black archival ink. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to attach it to the page. However, I mean, there's not a wrong way to do it. And on our next video, we will detail everything, we'll shade, and we'll attach "Let it snow." So go ahead, if you're working along with me on this project, when you get to this point, go ahead and stamp out your letters. And when my alarm goes off again, I'm not going to come back. So if you enjoyed today's video, I hope that you will give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. We're a junk journaling and embellishment channel, or that's what I kind of like to do on my channel, but I wanted to do something different, and we will do that. I have another Christmas project. You know, you have to work ahead when you do anything Christmassy. My stamp is wanting to stay inside my envelope. It's sticking down in here. I don't know why. I've never used it before, but let me get it out of there. There it goes. I don't think I have. Oh, yeah, I have. Huh. I just told a fib. Sorry, guys. Okay, now, I had my stamp. There it is. Again, it's archival ink, and hopefully it will stamp okay. If you mess up on one side, just flip it over and do the other side. Okay, so we're going to spell out let, and put it on our little block here. I wonder why it's not wanting to adhere very well. Maybe it's because they're new. Look at that, it's moving. Oh well, we'll make it work. I might have to call Tim Holtz and say, "What's the deal?" Okay. So the alarm will probably go off here in a bit. And when it does, you guys give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And join me back for the second part of the snowman mix media. All right. Here we go. Hopefully we've got them all lined up nice and neat. Now you want to make sure they're covered, because some of the parts of these words are, you know, they're going to give you that kind of, I don't know what to call it, but I'm going to pull this as far down as I can so I can get over it. And I'm always afraid that if you don't want to rock it. There you go. All right, now the next one will be it. Let it. Okay. Find the I here. Normally, there's been times I've done letters where I've gotten so turned around whenever I go to lay them out. Well, no one, oh, I thought I was doing something different. I thought I was putting them on backwards, but I didn't. Okay. I think those are lined up good enough. Let's see. All right, so the next one is it, and hopefully we get through the words before the video. The alarm goes off. Okay, this one I can see by looking that the ink is wanting to get on the stamp itself. So if you push down, I really probably pushed down too much. Well, look at that. Shame, shame, Tim Holtz. The cling on these, it's like they're old or something. Now, I may have had them for a while, but still know that they're not that old. Sorry, guys. I said I wasn't coming back. I lied, I guess, again. I want to finish this video out. My husband's going to go. He's my techie. He's way smarter on the computer when it comes to technical stuff than I am. He's going to say, Paula, really? I'm going to say, mm-hmm. I'll give him a challenge. There's it. And the next one is going to be snow. Let's find all of our letters. There's the S, N. Tried to do this before that goes off again. Let's find the W. Oh, there it is. Okay. You'd think there'd be a better way to do these letters, but I guess there's not. Let me make sure now. I don't want to have this not going on here correctly. And hopefully I have enough room. I'm going to have to move over a little bit. It's not like I don't have bigger acrylic. See, because it's wanting to hang off. But it'll be fine. We'll find out if it will be. I like to take chances. Okay, here we go. We might get finished. This is going to be the end after we're done here, guys. We really, while we have the gel medium, we should really attach them. But I'm afraid we'd have a part 5 or 6. My husband's going to kill me. No, he won't. He's not that way at all. Okay, and there's the snow. So, let me find the lid to my stamp. And I will lay out the whole word for you to see. And I will put it on the page. Let me see, and I can tell you how I'm going to put it on the page. Some of these stamps just fell right out. So I'm going to move it to the stamps to the side and get our canvas. And we're going to adhere these just like we did everything else. Okay? So probably what I'll do is just slightly go up on the blue on the left side. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to do it like this. I think I am. Now I'm going to cut these off before I glue it. I'm going to cut the sides off. Or do we like it like this? Oh, the things we have to decide. Yeah, that's too straight for me. I'm going to actually bring it up under the snowman a little bit. And I'm going to kind of pull it over one letter. And these will be cut off. And I'll do it like that. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me to do this mixed media. And I'll see you next time. We'll do part 2 of all the details. Bye, guys.